Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Stargirl. This time on Season 1, Episode 5, titled Hourman and Dr Mid-Nite. Last episode, we had Wildcat. We met the new Wildcat, who is Yolanda Montez, and we got a bit of her backstory, specifically how she fell at the school, like the story of her downfall and everything, and what happened to her, and how it affected both her school life and her home life. Both changed very drastically. And she had a bit of trouble. Because she'd struggled she'd struggled for so long with actually being Yolanda Montez after what happened that she didn't immediately think that she could actually jump back in to the Wildcat mantle. But then she tried to get some like forgiveness and reconciliation with her family, but then her parents just wouldn't allow it. So she figured that by the end of it, she figured that she becoming Yolanda Montez again might just mean stepping into this new mantle. Like, this is who Yolanda Montez is. Yolanda Montez is Wildcat, and Wildcat is Yolanda Montez. So she has stepped back into the Wildcat mantle. So Wildcat has been recruited. Wildcat has been recruited onto the new JSA. So the title of this episode, Hourman and Dr Mid-Nite. So I assume we'll be recruiting those two new members, and I have a good feeling about who one of those could be. I think Beth from the last episode could be one of them, because she saw Yolanda. She saw Stargirl and Yolanda. She doesn't know who Stargirl is, but she heard Stargirl calling Wildcat Yolanda out when they were climbing up the walls, so she recognized Wildcat as Yolanda. So how we're going to approach that kind of confrontation, I don't know, but we'll see. But I feel like she is also one of the other people who was at the table in the very first episode, like those few people who were sat at the table that Courtney joined. So I think she is also destined to be a member of the JSA. So we'll see where that goes. And then also I think Cameron is another potential member. His dad being one of the leaders of the leader of the Injustice Society, and all. I think that's going to make for a great dynamic, like a hero son versus the villain dad, and all that jazz. So that's going to be fun. Pardon me. We had Denise disappearing. Denise, the mother of Joey and the wife of William, she disappeared. She was leaving town. She was getting ready to leave town, but then as soon as we saw her expressing concern and declaring that William's death wasn't just a death, her car was wrecked and left at the junkyard. Her cat escaped, and she was nowhere to be found. So I'm assuming that because she knew exactly what had happened, or near enough what happened, the Injustice Society deemed her as too much of a threat, and they got rid of her. So we'll see. But that is her story. And then we met another member of the Injustice Society, probably like a returning member, Dr. Ito. Icicle called him. Like, he had like a whole mask on, like just two little slits for his eyes. He had like a lizard skin underneath and everything. So he's a member. And who he is and what his powers are, I guess we'll see. But he's very creepy. Right off the bat. He's quite creepy. Like the voice, the whole ominous kind of like presence and everything. He's got it nailed down. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from the last episode. So that was now episode 5, Hourman and Dr Mid-Nite. Let's go. Rex Tyler. Oh, he's Hourman. Yeah, Rex Tyler. Well, the new one of this new Earth 2. To Pat Dugan. Have the Injustice Society found them? Is that what's happening? They're under more trouble than usual? Because he knows Pat, so this has to be around the same time that the JSA was around. Oh, damn. Solomon got them. Grundy got them. Solomon Grundy got them.
You will never understand what you cost me. If it wasn't for you,
you'd be a Silicon Valley millionaire instead of a Blue Valley dirtbag.
Oh, come on. Take a swing.
Oh, gee. He did not have a good
Put
upbringing.
you on your ass again.
He did not have a good upbringing.
Come on, let's go.
Not under Matt. Oh, Lou Ferrigno Jr. Huh. Is that Rick? I can't tell. I know what Lou Ferrigno looks like, but I genuinely can't tell if that's his son or not.
Happy Halloween, loser.
Kid gave me a fucking heart attack.
Courtney? Did any of them play the violin?
Yeah, the fiddler.
The principal. The
Brace
Principal
yourself, Pat.
Principal Bowen.
First off, the fiddler was a man.
Oh, the new one is a
Second,
woman.
He was Irish.
The new one
Okay,
is
well, I saw her playing the
a
violin
woman of color. I don't know what her ethnicity
a
is.
super evil-looking way. I think the Green Lantern is stuck.
The Green Lantern. I like that. Yeah, I've read that it actually is a Green Lantern, like a Green Lantern. Yeah.
Careful. There are dragons in the water.
Yeah, that janitor definitely ain't to be trusted. He's not to be trusted in the slightest. Oh, they got the theatre up and running again. Oh, okay, yeah, they got the theatre up and running again, like Barbara said.
And a tip. It's chocolate from France.
French chocolate? Why? Is that like a genuine tip, or is that like the last thing you'll ever taste type of thing? Or is it poisoned?
Okay, give it a try, Court.
I thought you were going to say win.
When? Just need a carburetor. I'll get it up and running.
66 Mustang, that's a great ride.
Is Pat gonna recognize him? Did he ever meet the kid?
What color?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, he's gonna know.
Huh.
Pat's gonna know, yeah. The hourglass. The hourglass is glowing. Oh, damn. Yeah, it sensed Rick was near and it started glowing, so he has the genes of Hourman.
By the way.
Why is it not glowing anymore? Oh, don't do this now.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah,
You should stay on your meds.
Why is it not glowing anymore? It was definitely Rick.
Is the dog supposed to be chewing on that?
No. Oh, she's gonna go upstairs. She's gonna find the glasses. Oh, it's chewing on the glasses. Oh, yeah. I know that feeling, taking off the glasses to put other ones on. Whoa. She's got a HUD. She's got a HUD. Dr.
You require
Mid-Nite.
assistance?
Who are you?
You are hearing the voice of Dr. Charles Mid-Nite.
Charles
Okay.
Mid-Nite.
Why are you talking about yourself in the third person?
I am merely an AI of
An
Dr.
AI.
Charles Mid-Nite. I am able to shift into
Optical
various
Twitter
spectra, including
hologram?
X-ray, infrared, and night vision.
This is so
Oh,
bonkers.
the goggles
jeez.
are just something my stepdad is working on.
False. These were invented
Lies.
by Dr. Charles Mid-Nite after he lost his sight fighting the mob. Last night at the hospital, I heard you call Yolanda by her real name.
That is a common rookie superhero mistake.
Oh,
Jack says
Red
it's a
Bee.
common superhero mistake. I got someone named the Red Bee killed. Rick Harris's
Harris.
real name is Rick Tyler. And
Rick
Rick's
Tyler.
dad's real name is Rex Tyler.
Rex Tyler. It's all in the databanks.
Rex
All in the society databanks.
He was a superhero.
I'm sorry, you're his, dad. His dad?
No, you're not.
Right, okay.
No, you're not.
So anyhow, the Mustang, it's a carburetor. Rick had mentioned he needed one. I had one laying around. Figured I'd drop it off. Then,
Oh, he's gonna sell this
Okay.
one too. He's gonna sell that one
Sorry to
too.
disturb you.
99.1% are minors. One
Of course they are.
Number of
Of
underage
course
drinking
they are.
infractions? 80.
Okay, Narc.
Is that the guy from earlier who Rick sold the keg to? I don't know. He was dressed in a costume too. Oh, don't wear that. Oh, she's a gremlin. She's a gremlin.
You're...
Wildcat.
And she's...
Just borrowing those for the night.
She can be initiated.
So what can this magic...
Turn it over.
So that's why I didn't glow then. She didn't turn it upside down. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Can you feel those powers, Ricky? Can you feel those powers? Oh, damn. Oh, he's got super fists now. Oh, damn. That's a full keg. That's a full keg. Or like an empty keg, but just he can crush it. There's further proof he can crush it.
I'm doing my own thing.
Hey, you can't just
You're
take
going
the
rogue?
hourglass
Yes,
like-
I can. It was my dad's, right? Now it's mine. Later.
There's a code you need to
Congrats. You just made
enforce.
the biggest delinquent in school an unstoppable beast. I'm
Oh.
not giving up yet.
We can still get through to him.
Yeah, he's gonna go straight for Matt. He's gonna give Matt the beating of his life. Oh, and he's harassing waitresses.
Okay,
He's
you
harassing
take the
waitresses.
pen, and I'm gonna give you my number.
Yes.
Come here.
Oh, God. Oh, that's an ominous smile. Yeah, he realizes the power he has now. Oh, no. Whoa. Oh, that tree's coming down.
He says he can show us?
A projection? A projection. Yeah, that would be great. A projection.
They were
Yeah.
here. Chuck calls it Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, huh? Oh, jeez. That's how they hit the tree. Oh, wow, he actually has to see them too. Oh, no. He actually gets to see them one last time before they crash. Oh. Oh. Looks like a Green Lantern like coming out. Yeah. Oh.
Beth,
Beth?
are you okay?
Oh, she.
It's just so scary.
Yeah, she couldn't imagine it. And seeing it happen in real time. Yeah, it's too much.
But I don't want justice, Courtney.
Revenge. Vengeance.
I want revenge.
Yeah, he's very, very vengeful. Very vengeful. Oh, damn. Are they still gonna have to fight him? They're still gonna have to fight him. Oh, it's the fiddler. The fiddler.
Gary, where you going?
Oh, she can hypnotize them. She can hypnotize them. And kill them, apparently. Oh, the chocolate coin. Was it really a chocolate coin? It was. It was poisoned, though, wasn't it? It was poisoned. I knew it. Had to be poisoned. Oh, it's all the same guy. They all work for the same company. They got the Empire or something written on their caps.
Seems like you got a stronger will than your friend. That's too bad. For you.
Oh, damn. He has a literal gun up his sleeve.
Courtney?
A literal gun up his sleeve. So are we going to get a Green Lantern in this show? Is that what that means? Because someone has to wield the lantern, right?
Court.
She's been recruiting. Okay, that's the end of that particular episode. Okay, so this episode we meet Rick Tyler. We meet Rex and Rick. We meet Rex and Rick. Rex, I do remember we I think we first officially met the JSA in this kind of DC TV universe back in Legends of Tomorrow. At the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2, we were introduced to them and we like that whole JSA. But I believe they were still on Earth 1. I believe they were still on Earth 1, but they were from the past. They were back in the past. So yeah, so in that one we had Stargirl, we had Stargirl, we had Hourman, we had Dr Mid-Nite, I believe. I think we had Obsidian too, the guy who made everything go super dark and stuff, like a dome of darkness. And we had Amaya, we had Vixen on there too. That's how we got Amaya. That's how we got Vixen. We had a whole bunch of people. That's where we first met them. So Rex Tyler is Hourman. He's Hourman. I did look him up after actually finding out about that team and those people. And I do remember reading he was like a super duper smart chemist. He was a brilliant chemist, and he actually came up with a way to give himself superpowers for an hour, and the only one they mentioned here was super strength. I don't know if that's the one power he gets, super strength, or if he actually has other ones too, but to my knowledge, like, he gets superpowers for a maximum of 1 hour, and then he's a regular human again. So, you know, Rick kind of made a point. Rick kind of made a point that, you know, he just gets he can only be a superhero for like 1 hour. Well, I mean, it depends because it's an hourglass. It's an hourglass. It doesn't seem like it needs to recharge. So he flips it upside down, lets the sand fall through. That's when he gets those powers, and then and then if he wants them again once the hour's done, he just flips it back over again. So yeah, again, it's an hourglass. It doesn't seem like it would need like a recharge or anything like that. But I don't know. But he came. I mean, he came up with the hourglass thing himself. But whether or not he actually used earthly chemicals, or if he had something that came in from outer space that helped give it a boost or whatever, we don't know. Maybe in that case it might require some kind of recharge, but I don't know. But he is the son. He's the son of Rex Tyler. He's the son of Rex Tyler, and he and Rex and his wife, I think they had to leave. That classic superhero origin story. That classic superhero origin story. The parents leave, and then the child is stuck with some kind of guardian, like an uncle or a butler, or in this case, a douchebag. Or the uncle. Yeah, he's the uncle. He's the uncle. He's literally not the dad. He's the uncle, and in this case, he's the abusive uncle, Matt, the guy who was called on, and he didn't really like Rex either. He's he asked him, what kind of trouble have you got my sister into this time? And then all of this was thrust upon him. I mean, to be fair, yeah, all of it was thrust upon him. Like it seemed like they called him out of the blue, but they left the house in his name. They changed Rick's name to I think Matt's last name. I think Matt's last name was Matt Harris. They left like $50K in his name too. So yeah, so God knows where all that money went. You'd think that money would go towards the bills. Like he complained that he couldn't pay the gas and electricity and all that stuff without selling the carburetor, without selling the car parts. But then they left $50K. I mean, he'd have to get a job and then obviously, keep that money saved up well enough to be able to make it last for at least a good few years. And then 9 years later, depending on how well he's doing, he could still, pay the bills himself, and maybe Rick could help out too. But no, he just instead uses the situation to justify his own pissed off behavior and attitude, and then takes out, and for even better measure, he takes out on Rick too. He takes it out on Rick and, abuses him. He even threatened to drop him on his ass again one more time. So all those years Rick lived with, someone who definitely wasn't his dad, but, just couldn't be asked to actually be a proper guardian towards him, like an actual caring person, like someone who just literally put up with Rick and actually just, made him feel lucky enough to have a roof over his head instead of actually making him feel like he deserved a home and a family. And then he was at the diner harassing waitresses and eating food and stuff. So, it's a fair enough guess where he blew, like what he blew the rest of his money on. But yeah, all those years living under Matt, definitely, he even described it, he felt angry all the time, like he wanted to just punch something, and, he let that anger poison him, and he pushed other people away, and stuff like that. He didn't really let anyone get close to him. So yeah, so then it makes sense then why he would immediately go rogue. He would immediately go rogue with his powers. Like if he finds out he's a legacy, and I think I like that Courtney put it that way. It's an easy kind of distinguisher, like identifier even, like like a legacy member, like having a parent directly who was actually a part of the JSA. Which I mean, Cameron would also be a legacy in the opposite way around. Like his dad is a member of the opposing team. His dad is a member of the enemy team. So then if he becomes a member. I mean, now I don't really know if I can see that happening. Because the only members unless he becomes the Green Lantern. I mean, wait. Was there a Green Lantern on the team? Because there's a Green Lantern, like, as in a lantern, but was there a Green Lantern? Like, with the ring and everything? Like, was there a person on the team like that? Because I think, back in episode 3, I think it was... I think back in episode 3, I remembered when Pat was showing her the lair and stuff. I think he mentioned it was Dr Mid-Nite's lantern or like someone else's lantern. Yeah, he didn't specify that it was a Green Lantern. I vaguely remember him mentioning that it was actually someone else's lantern, but he didn't say whose it was. So we haven't really. I think we saw the Flash, we saw Starman, like the posters and stuff. We saw the Flash, we saw someone else. So yeah, they had those members on the team. Yeah, so they must have had a Green Lantern. If they had a Flash, then they must have had a Green Lantern. So yeah, Cameron could be the Green Lantern. He could be the Green Lantern. We haven't seen the ring yet, but I mean, if there's a lantern, the lantern, its primary use is charging up the actual ring. Its primary use is charging up the ring instead of actually being like a lantern to show you the way and everything. So if they actually find the ring and, you know, figure out that they have one more spot available, then Cameron could be it. But, you know, right now, so far, we have Rick back as Hourman, you know, being a legacy member, and then we have Courtney as Stargirl, we have Yolanda as Wildcat, we have Beth as Dr Mid-Nite. So, yeah, if they actually find the ring, they can get a Green Lantern too. But, I mean, on the other hand, I don't know if they actually might go down that path just yet. I don't think they're going to make Cameron a hero in this season, at least. Yeah, because I think that would be much more interesting, showing him off as an actual regular civilian in this season, and then introducing him, and then actually revealing to him the fact that the JSA exists, and all the people most of the people he knows at school is in the team, but also that his dad is the leader of the enemy team. Making him a civilian in this season, like a normal regular human being with no superhero identity, making him that kind of character for this season. And in season 2, he actually, you know, introducing him to the idea of actually joining the team and stuff, and making him the new one. Actually, you know, going over the roster, seeing who's on the team, seeing what other members are missing, and then doing it. I think that might make things more interesting, because I think throwing him immediately into the superhero role, it would be cool and all, but I'd prefer. I think. Yeah, on the one hand, I'd actually prefer to see how that goes, like making him like a normal human, reacting to the news that his dad is a superpowered villain going around killing people, and then season 2 being like, you know, okay, well, he maybe he even helps them stop his dad. Yeah, maybe but in the season finale, he actually helps the team stop his dad without using superpowers, without actually using without using any kind of superpowers or using any of the gear from the JSA. He actually, you know, uses, you know, his own intellect and whatever, and his own kind of moral code to help them stop his dad. And then season 2 rolls around, and then he actually considers being a superhero. I think that would be better to see. Yeah, and I think season 1 you could establish like the core members, like the ones we saw in the intro, or the heroes we saw in the intro of this season. You gather, you know, re-recruit them in this season with newer members like we've been doing, and then season 2 you look at all the other members that are out there and how you could expand the team from there. So I think that would be cooler. But yeah, Rick, he went AWOL for a while. He went rogue for a while. I thought he was gonna go punch his uncle. I really thought he was gonna punch his uncle, you know, just break his nose clean off, or, you know, dislocate his jaw or something. And yeah, I think it's understandable he went down that path. He's been living with anger for a long time, so, you know, finding out that his dad was a superhero is like a mild thing. Like, you know, not that he wasn't surprised, but it was like, you know, it wasn't anything compared to the fact that he found out he could get superpowers for as long as an hour and stuff like that. So then he, you know, like, you know, I think he's probably imagined it, if he had the power to stand up to his dad, to stand up to his uncle, what would he do? And he actually imagined it. He probably in his mind, he just imagined the scenario of going in there and just beating the crap out of him to a pulp. But then instead, you know, he just, you know, like, he resorts instead to actually beating up an inanimate object, which is better. Harming an actual civilian could get him into more trouble. And this one, the worst he could probably get, I mean, he hasn't even been caught. So if he was, then the worst he could get caught with his vandalism and stuff. So that would be a lighter kind of punishment, I think. But yeah, I mean that alone shows great restraint. He could have easily, you know, succumbed to that anger and just delivered a few knockout punches onto his uncle's face, but he actually kind of held himself back and actually took his anger out on his uncle's car instead. Just one punch. Well, I mean, one punch to take out the wing mirror, and then another punch to actually, you know, blow the car onto the road and stuff. So there was that. But the even bigger thing he's angrier at, is the tree that he believed killed his parents. The one that actually has the dent mark on it from where they actually crashed. So he goes there, I presume every day and maybe every night, and actually, you know, just punches it once until, like, you know, enough for his knuckles to bleed once. So yeah, that tree was the cause of all of his problems, until he found out that, you know, it was actually Solomon Grundy that killed him. So we have, I don't think we saw him properly in the first episode. I don't think we saw Grundy properly in the first episode. Even in the even in the portrait that the ISA has, it's fairly faint. He's fairly faint. He's a big shadowy figure, so there's not really much of him to see. But with that one, we actually kind of saw him in the distance landing and then running up at the car and then just chopping it into the air and stuff. So that was cool. So Solomon Grundy, I do know him. To my knowledge, he's predominantly a Batman villain. He's, I think, I remember playing against him in Arkham City. He was Penguin's secret weapon, so that was cool. But to my knowledge, in the comics, he's actually predominantly a Batman villain. But he could also be in the ISA. But he was the one who killed them. So yeah, so he was sending a letter to Dugan. He sent a letter to Dugan, which means that he must have known him as Stripe, which then means that the JSA and ISA were very much a thing. And whatever happened. He had to leave. Him and his wife had to leave, and they had to leave Rick behind. But then, they had to leave because the ISA were after them, and they sent Solomon after them. They sent Grundy after them. So yeah, it was never an accident. It was full-on murder. That they managed to cover up. Which means that they must have had a man on the inside of the force actually helping to cover it up as murder. Because they had one. William was a politician. Icicle is Barbara's boss, wherever she works, and then the other guy, the dude with the gun up his sleeve, I forgot his name. I think Steven. Is it Steven? I think it might be Steven. He has a literal gun up his sleeve. He has a literal, he just pops it out, and then just pops it back up again. So he has a literal gun up his sleeve. He also works with Icicle. He also works with Jordan. And then Principal Bowen, she's a principal. They all have positions of some kind of power or authority. They all control something. They're all part of a business or in power of some kind. So yeah, and even Brainwave. Even Brainwave, he works with Beth's parents at the hospital. He's like a surgeon, I think, maybe. I don't know. He's a doctor of some kind. So they all have these different identities. They all have secret identities and all these positions of power. So yeah, where was I though? So yeah, Rick. It was fun to meet him though. He does seem like a very, very intriguing character. A character with a lot of history and a lot of pain to him. So they kind of utilized that kind of backstory well and showed off like a darkness to this character, a darkness that he still has to kind of get through. It doesn't seem like it's over yet. He's always going to carry that kind of pain with him. He's been living with it for 9 years. So it's not going to go away easily. So I think, the rest of the season could, involving him, could also be actually teaching him to control his powers and his anger and to channel it well enough and to actually help him become Hourman properly. So I look forward to seeing how that story gets unveiled. I look forward to it. But yeah, we had Beth. We had much more of Beth. She knew about Courtney being Stargirl in some sense and Yolanda being Wildcat, and she was trying to, eavesdropping behind them with the AirPods in and stuff. So we had that, and then she went to Beth's house, to Courtney's house, and found the dog chewing on Dr. Mid-Nite's glasses, and then she put those on. So I figured they were communicating, because I think in the beginning, when they were in her closet, because the dog chewed on them, so they were kind of glitching in and out because the dog chewed on them. In the beginning, though, we saw them kind of glowing a bit in the closet. So I was wondering, they must have some kind of display or communication kind of purposes. So yeah, you put them on, and you get like a HUD, that's basically like a Wikipedia. She said like a Wikipedia on steroids. And stuff, like a giant data bank. I thought, I was probably using the internet or something, but no, it's like a data bank. It's connected to the Justice Society data banks, and it's got information on all of them. Which surprises me, because it had information on Beth. It had information on Beth and her parents, and I don't know why that kind of info would be in the hands of the Justice Society. Like, the Justice Society database, I don't know what kind of information they would have, like information on their team members, sure, on their enemies, and maybe on the world around them, like the environment, like a map and directions, and like a sat nav. Like he even said, if you're, oh, I noticed you've been stationary for a while now. Like, would you like directions to your home so you can access the map of Blue Valley and everything. But it must have some sense of Wi-Fi, like that kind of connection to the modern day database as well, like the modern day kind of networks and stuff to actually constantly update itself to new people in the world and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It's really, really cool. So it actually, and it had info on the original guy, Charles McNider, I think it said Charles McNider. Yeah, it was like an AI of him. So he built like his own. He built himself. He programmed himself as an AI into the glasses that took from the third person and everything. And he was a blind guy. He was a blind guy too. So he built this to actually see. But then he ended up actually putting on the he was fighting the mob. I think it was. He was fighting the mob, and then he went blind, and then he built this to be able to see. But then he put on a mask as well and like a cape and everything, and he became Dr. Mid-Nite. So that is super cool. That is super cool. But what his actual powers are, I don't know. But I mean, now Beth can adopt the owl. So that's going to be a fun friendship to see. That's going to be a really fun friendship to see. But yeah, the team didn't really, like, Courtney and Yolanda didn't really kind of, accept her in, as easily. She wasn't really initiated as quickly as Yolanda was. And I think it's fair to say that, it's because, Beth found her way into the team. She, saw Courtney and Yolanda being Wildcat and Stargirl. She saw them. They didn't see her. Like Yolanda is someone that Courtney personally kind of sought out and saw her in action and saw that she could do with a second chance at life and being Wildcat and stuff. But Beth, she got invited herself to she didn't break into their home, but she got herself invited as Courtney's friend, which she kind of sort of is, like on like a very, very near borderline level. Like they know of each other, they don't really know about each other. And then she found the glasses, then she went into Courtney's room and then found all of this stuff. So yeah, so now I mean she had like a good old chat with the AI. The AI was very, very responsive, like a Jarvis, basically, like a Jarvis. Told her everything she needed to know, accessed everything, gave up like a HUD and everything, so it was cool to see that. But yeah, I think over the next couple of episodes, we could see Beth being initiated. Maybe if she she actively might want to start proving her worth and proving that she can be a member of the team and she can be Dr. Mid-Nite. So yeah, it'll be fun to see that. It's cool too that she actually knew right off the bat, like Superhero 101. Never reveal your secret identity, your secret real name identity. Calling it back to Courtney calling Wildcat Yolanda, and even the AI, even Charles, even Chuck saying, that's how the superhero Red B got killed, because someone actually revealed his name, or he revealed his name. So yeah, that was fun. So she knows enough about this stuff. She's not really combat trained. She's not that kind of hero, but she does know the very bare minimum basics of actually being a superhero, like the identity, wearing a mask, having a costume, and all that stuff, and obviously upholding that code of justice and all that. So I think it'll be cool it'll be cool to see how they train her and actually how she proves herself to the team and how she actually shows off her skill set and everything. But yeah, we had the Fiddler back again. They blocked off the road to the Empire truck. Steven killed the guy with the chocolate, so it was poison. I was right, it was a poisoned chocolate. Figured I thought that he was flicking the coin to his hand. I thought it was something like one of those coins out of John Wick or something. Like you catch the coin and it's like a target on your back, like a death coin or something. If you're given the coin, then you just instantly die or something. But no, it was even worse than that. It was a poisoned chocolate coin, which is now I'm just never gonna trust chocolate coins again. But he was killing them off. I'm not entirely sure why. I think the guy in the theater did a favor for him, and then he paid him off with alimony money, and then also gave him the tip of the chocolate coin. So I think it was just kind of getting rid of him, like tying up loose ends. And then I think he mentioned that a truck would be coming in. He mentioned a delivery would be coming in. So I think it was getting rid of those two guys too. So getting other people to do your dirty work for you, but then killing them off to tie off loose ends and to stop any word from spreading too. So the Fiddler showcased some of her powers. So she can hypnotize. She can use her violin to hypnotize people. The one guy it worked on. The one guy actually walked over and succumbed to the music, but the other guy, he had more willpower to fight back against it. But it also meant that it resulted in his ears bleeding out and him crying out in pain and stuff. So there was that, and then Steven saw this and immediately just, put a bullet in the guy. So yeah, so those are Fiddler's powers. So that's why she has the violin. So I think maybe that's why she was actually using the violin on Brainwave in the hospital, like seeing if his brain could actually be lured back into consciousness and seeing if she could wake him up from the coma. So again, more proof that it's probably not the first time she did that. She's actually doing it over time to see if it works more and more, if his brain gets used to hearing that and feeling the effects of her powers. But no, I don't know. But this one, I mean, these are conscious people. They're probably, no offense to them, but they're probably weak-minded too. I mean, except for the one guy. The one guy had willpower, and I think he was more confused as to what was going on. But the other guy actually succumbed fairly easily to the sound of classical music. Or just like a simple violin routine. Pardon me. And then I don't know what happened to him. He walked over. He just got like hypnotized. We didn't see what happened to him, but the guy who resisted was killed. So he probably wasn't as much use to them anymore. So this other guy, they can probably brainwash and have them working for him in some other way before they decide to kill him too. But yeah, that is the Fiddler. And yeah, we have an actual Green Lantern. We have a Green Lantern, a lantern that glows green. So no ring just yet. But I am faithful that we'll see something, and that'll probably be Cameron's position. I mean, can they just give it away like that? Wouldn't the Green Lantern Corps have to choose it? Because I'm pretty sure, it's the Corps that actually chooses you to pass the ring off to. And I mean, I don't mean to quote the movie, but in the movie we did see it was an actual lantern that chose Hal Jordan. It was an actual dying Green Lantern that chose Hal Jordan to be his successor, to take his place in the Corps. So yeah, with this one, I don't know, I mean, and again, and in Justice League 2, we saw that when the lantern dies, the ring slides off their fingers and then just goes flying off into space. So unless you're an official lantern, you can't really receive a ring like that. So then that makes me doubt the existence of a ring. Like the lantern is just like a power source, basically. It's fairly useless without the ring, I believe. Maybe, I don't know, because I mean, yeah, you use the ring, you use the lantern to charge the ring, but the lantern itself doesn't have the same kind of capabilities as the ring does, to my knowledge. So this is all kind of like educated guesses going on here. I haven't actually read the comics. I don't know how the lantern works. But yeah, he uses the ring to charge. He uses the lantern to charge up the ring, and then the ring gives him the power and everything. But the lantern itself is just that. It's just like a generator, if you will. So yeah, I don't know how likely it is that they're actually going to have a ring in their possession left behind by whoever was on the team. But a Green Lantern, I think it may well be used by Dr. Mid-Nite to actually be used as an actual lantern or something. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, if there is a ring, if they are lucky enough to have a ring that didn't leave their planet and go straight back to the Corps, then maybe Cameron can be it, if they can make that happen without the explicit permission of a GLC member. But we'll see. We'll see. But it's cool they actually have a lantern. And they even called it the Green Lantern. I think I remember reading in the comments of one of the previous reactions that it is actually a Green Lantern. It is that. So it's cool that they have that in this universe. We have it on Earth too. So we have them on Earth too, and then in Earth I think it's on Earth 12 as well. We saw the actual Green Lantern flying through space. We saw the Green Lantern planet. I don't know what that's called, but the actual planet where the Green Lantern Corps are, we saw them. So they're like a whole other Earth. So yeah, that's super cool. And yeah, I think it wasn't all that difficult for Pat to recognize Rick either. It wasn't all that difficult for Pat to recognize Rick. He recognized him. The more he talked, he recognized him. He mentioned the Mustang, the '66 Mustang. I think it was '66. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was '66 Mustang. The a yellow car, and his name being Rick Harris. I think. I mean, I don't know if he actually I don't know. I mean, again, we saw him mailing something, like presumably a letter to Pat 9 years ago. But I don't know if Rex would have actually mentioned that Rick would be undergoing a name change in order to protect them both. But I think he would have mentioned that his son Rick is in safe custody now and stuff like that. But to maybe check in on him if he could or whatever. But he did recognize him as time went on, as Rick Tyler. And yeah, he doesn't really look much like his father. So I wouldn't really blame someone for not recognizing him immediately. Like, he has a completely different face, and like the hair is all different and everything. So it's not like the looks got passed down, but just the Hourman genetics. The Hourman genetics got passed down. So yeah, so Pat recognized him, so he knows he's a legacy member too. And I wonder if he knows. I mean, the JSA must know. Because I mean, if like back then, the JSA would have probably investigated Thingy's murder. Oh, I wonder if that's how it would have started. If it was 9 years ago, that was when Starman disappeared. That was the night he died, like 9 or 10 years ago. So I think it was like 9 years ago. Yeah. So if it started off like you know, the ISA were maybe going after the members of the JSA, and they started off with Rex. And maybe that's how Pat knew. So maybe the letter was a warning, like, oh, they've caught on to us, or they're coming after us, and they're starting with me, so warn the others and stuff like that. So then he dies first, and then the rest of the ISA. Because again, I don't think we really saw much of Grundy in the intro to the season, except for the end of that opening sequence. So then Grundy goes after Rex, and the rest of the ISA goes straight after the JSA, and then in the end, Grundy actually shows up. So, oh, that could be it then. That could be it. Maybe that's how that whole cycle starts. But yeah, but I think he recognized him, probably. He recognized him, and then he actually went to warn the others, but then by the time he got there, the attack had already started, and Grundy wasn't there, but the rest of the ISA were, and then that's when all that stuff went down. Okay, maybe that's how it went down. But yeah, this is all really cool world building. This is all really cool world building. It's being really well done. I think they're building up all these interesting characters with these kind of, you know, these really like tragic backstories and all these losses and, you know, stories of pain and stuff to help push them forward. And I think as a team, they're recruiting, but I think it's still in that process of actually getting the team together, actually making themselves treat and look at each other as a team instead of just a group of kids dressing up in costumes carrying on their legacy. Like, you know, it's going to take a while for them to actually become the Justice Society of America, along with Pat too. Pat, this is the last thing he wants. He even you know, went into Courtney's room and saw in the end that, you know, she had the bag full of the gear and everything, so he knows that, you know, she took the equipment from the JSA lair and stuff, and so some of it's missing. So she's already found some people, so I look forward to that conversation. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from this episode. A fun one, a very fun one, so I look forward to seeing what's next in store for this new JSA. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from this episode. So that was Stargirl, Season 1, Episode 5, titled Hourman and Dr Mid-Nite. A nice kind of double dipping of the newer JSA superheroes. So yeah, that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Stargirl. The uncut reaction, for those of you who want it, will be up on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that's it. So I will be seeing you there. I will see you guys next time.